Hello, thank you all for coming to our town hall meeting, sponsored by the NAACP of Bonner Springs and the Bonner Springs Library. I'm Teresa Bolton. I am the membership chairperson as well as the secretary of the Bonner Springs branch. And I was gonna be moderating, but Allison's gonna do that today. Allison Williamson is our political actions chairperson. She's doing a great job with that. And I'm gonna introduce our president and she'll come up and then I'll go through some of our housekeeping. Our president, Aaliyah Jarrett.
Good afternoon. We are excited. This is our sixth political action that we've done in Wyandotte County under the leadership of our new political action chairperson. The last time Bonner had a political action chairperson was Miss Minor. Miss Minor, it was a while back. So it feels good to be involved in putting out the information for our candidates. People have said, well, why Bonner Springs? Why not? We're part of Wyandotte County, so we're excited. The thing that we're going to keep this brief and give it over to her, and like I said, we acknowledge that you're here and that you're doing her work. Her husband has been taping these six. They've been well attended. We are well in support of this. We put the information out, and it's a good audience, and we're glad that you guys have attended. But what happens now is vote. Vote. She didn't do all this work. The NAACP didn't put this out to the community to not have people be involved. The national theme was the urgency is now. You have to get involved in your community now. You have to know who's running and who's going to be elected. You got problems and complaints. It's time to vote.
Thank you, Aaliyah. And I will be moderating on behalf of Allison. She surprised us and made it today. So I do want to first of all go over some housekeeping. First of all, we do have cookies and water for those of you who like some light refreshments. Please mute or silence your phones at this time. There is NAACP information on this table here and also voter registration forms and information as well. If you have any questions regarding that, I am the membership chairperson, so feel free to ask me afterwards. And I do want to explain with the candidates that we have, we do want you to limit to 2 minutes to speak about yourself and why we should vote for you. And then we'll just go in order by districts and we'll start it. So our first candidate, and I'm not sure who is here, so if you're, just raise your hand and then we'll have you come up and speak here. It is being recorded, just so you know. Joy D. Berry with Turner USD 202, Turner Board School District. Okay. And Jeff Davison, also USD 202. Okay. Steve Russell, USD 202. No. Okay. Kay Stone, USD 202. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I'm Kay Stone. I live in Turner, so I'm running for school board for Turner School District. I was a school nurse for Turner for 26 years and retired, and but I still feel close to the district because I live there, I grew up there, and just want to know, I just want what's best for our kids and the students. That's my top priority, is what's best for students. And if anybody lives in Turner, I appreciate your vote.
Okay. So next we have Piper District USD 203. Melanie Backerich was not able to make it, so she sent an email. So I'm going to read what she sent. I am Melanie Backerich, a candidate community member and advocate for education running for the Piper USD 203 Board of Education. As a proud graduate of Piper High School, class of 1991. I have deep roots in Piper's community. I was born and raised in Wyandotte County. I hold an associate's degree from Kansas City, Kansas Community College and a bachelor's degree in business communications from the University of Kansas. I am married to John Backerich III, and together we own Baram Contracting. We are also the proud parents of 3 children in the Piper District, Jack and Dane, recent graduates class of 2025, and Dax, who will graduate in 2029. With a family history of commitment to the Piper schools, I understand the time and commitment it takes to serve. My mother, Donna Feedback, previously served on the school board for 2 terms, as did my husband. I am a passionate advocate for the educational needs of every student. I am actively involved in the community as the treasurer of the Piper PTA and the president of the Piper Educational Foundation, where I strive to enhance educational opportunities for all students. I believe a strong educational foundation is vital for preparing our youth for future success, and I am committed to fostering an exclusive and supportive environment for all families with the Piper School District. Thank you for this opportunity. Okay, so that was from Melanie Backerich. Okay, our next candidate for Piper USD 203 is Mark Gilstrap. He here? Okay. The next one is Scott Ross. Okay. Patty Jewrich.
She is not here. I know who she is, but she's not here.
Okay. Alexander Morales. All right.
Hi everyone, how are you doing? My name is Alex Morales. I am running for Piper School Board. I'm the proud father of 3 children, all in this Piper School District, and my wife back there in the back came to support me today, Andrea. I own my own business and marketing business. Sounds bigger than it is, it's just me, but I do a lot of contracting with nonprofit organizations throughout the Kansas City metro area, as well as I am an adjunct professor at KCK Community College. A proud graduate of Lincoln College Prep in Kansas City, Missouri. And while I was there is when I was lucky enough to have several professors and teachers that taught me to love education. So if any of you have the opportunity to work with students, like our nurse over there, you know the face when you see someone achieve something, a student get to the next level. And that's why I'm running for school board. I love to see my own kids as well as other kids. I've been a coach in the Piper area since we moved here. I'm lucky enough to be able to coach again soccer this fall for my youngest daughter's team. And I just want to help make a difference. When it comes to coaching, for example, I'm not the best athlete on the field, but I know how to get people to work together. I know how to help them find their strengths, and I know how to get them to be there for one another and mean something to one another. And that's what I want to do for our kids. I want to be fiscally responsible. I want to make sure that they get the best education, and I want to set expectation high for them so that they're not just going to the classroom to spend time, but they're going to the classroom to achieve something. So, thank you.
Thank you. And our last one from USD 203 is Julian Wells. Okay. So next we have our Bonner Springs USD 204 district. Kimberly Beats was not able to make it, and she also sent an email. And I'm reading hers exactly. Good morning, my name is Kim Beats. I am sorry that I cannot be with you in person today. My family and I are away on a previously scheduled vacation. I truly wanted to be at the event, but time with family is also something I deeply value. I'm running for re-election to the USD 204 Bonner Springs Edwardsville School Board, where I have had the honor of serving for the past 10 years. For 25 years, this community has been my home. My husband is a graduate of this district, and we've raised 2 children here. One who just graduated from Bonner Springs High School and one who will be a junior this fall. Education and libraries have always been where my heart is. I've spent my entire career as a librarian serving in both public and corporate settings, and I've been grateful for the opportunity to make meaningful contributions in each. My passion lies in serving others, and I've been fortunate to do that through the school board, my church, Boy and Girl Scouts, and a variety of professional and community organizations. I believe students should always be at the center of our decisions. That means supporting our dedicated teachers and staff and respecting their expertise and ensuring that they have the tools they need to help every student succeed. I'm committed to early childhood education, strong literacy skills, and creating opportunities for students to grow, whether that's in academic, athletics, music, the arts, or our excellent technical education programs. I stay informed, listen to a wide range of perspectives, and continue my own professional learning so I can serve our district with care and understanding. I'm encouraged by all we've accomplished together in USD 204, and I'm excited about what's ahead. I would be honored to have your support so we can continue building a strong future for every student in our community. And that's from Kim Beats. Okay, our next candidate from USD 204 is John McCogrian.
I think this is the first time, so. My name is John McCoffrin. I do apologize, my last name is Scottish. The hardest part to say about is the coughing part. I'm kidding. I'm a single father of 3. I do live here in the Bonner Springs School District, even though it is Delaware Ridge, so it's KCK. I've got 3 kids. My oldest is gonna be a junior at Bonner Springs High. My youngest son, he will be in the 8th grade at Clark Middle. He's also autistic, so special needs is a big part of me, making sure that gets taken care of. And my daughter, she's a pistol. She'll be a 5th grader at Delaware Ridge Elementary. As you can see, I've got my cavalry sets in here. I did 10 years in the Army, 3 deployments, twice to Iraq, once to Afghanistan. So I want to make sure that 3 big things out of that get taught in our schools: geography. Sadly, a lot of kids don't even know where the Pacific Ocean's at, let alone Iraq, Afghanistan, all that other stuff. I think if kids study maybe 2 countries a year, and not the United States, not Mexico, or not even Antarctica, because we know it's full of penguins down here, I think they'll be better educated on what the world has to offer. Also civics too. I raised my right hand to protect and defend this beautiful country and this constitutional republic. I like to get our kids to understand what the Constitution even means, whether you like it or not. I mean, it's there, and we better educate ourselves on it. Also, make sure we have a good JROTC program, because the simple fact is, I served in the military, and the military is a great way to serve. I mean, I got my master's degree in business from Pennsylvania State University, not Ohio State, through the post I live in GI Bill, and they literally pay you $3,000 a month to sit at home and be a full-time student and pay for all your bills and all that stuff. So it's a great way to go to college just by doing 4 years. I'm a big fan of technical schools, because after I did 10 years in the military, I was a 6 years certified Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram mechanic. So if you got a Ram truck, Dodge Challenger, whatever, I'll be proudly help you repair it. And my father did 6 years Navy nuclear engine operation. So Wolf Creek Nuclear Power does 20% of the power here in Kansas. And I would love the kids to become maybe future HVAC people or even electricians. Work yourself up, as long as you're not putting a fork in the socket like I did as a kid. Fried a few brain cells. So, like I said, my name is John McCoffrin. I'm here at the Bonner Springs School District, and I want to make sure what our kids here in Bonner Springs get is exactly what I want to offer to my kids, because I want to put my kids and your kids first. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you. Our next candidate from USD 204 is Bonnie Majehan. Majehan, okay.
Sorry, we're not making the name easy.
Bonnie Majehan. Okay.
We've got French, so, again, my name is Bonnie Majon, and I also want to thank John for your service. So I consider myself a transplant to Bonner Springs, since while I didn't grow up here, I fell in love with this city and I converted my husband to be a Bonner Springs fan too, and my daughter. So we have chosen to move here and raise our family here. And that is why I want to run for the Bonner Springs USD 204 school board. I love the sense of community here. My husband and our two daughters are like frequent flyers of this library. Actually, we're here on a regular basis. And we've also found a home church here in Bonner Springs where I've become involved. We do music, special music for the church. And this morning I just wrapped up our VBS summer program. So we are setting down roots here. We are committed here. And Bonner is where my two daughters will attend school. My oldest, she is not here, but she will be a first grader at Delaware Ridge Elementary. And they will graduate into the world from the Bonner Springs School District. So naturally, I want to serve this community that is helping to raise my daughters, which is why I've decided to run for this position. Professionally, I am a high school English teacher. I know it's not everyone's favorite subject, so I have no judgment. Yeah, okay, I have a fan here, great. I also don't teach in Bonner, otherwise I couldn't run for this position. So I've been in the classroom for over a decade, and I've worked in 3 different school districts. I've worked in a small rural Beloit, Kansas. I've taught for many years in the socioeconomically diverse Leavenworth, Kansas High School, which also has a very large military population. And then now I find myself in a little bit more suburban population at Shawnee Mission South High School. So I've been under a number of different administrative teams. I've seen policies that have tremendously helped student success. And I've also seen policies that have hindered learning potential for students. And I believe that my current position in a classroom, daily navigating those difficulties that our students are facing, makes me a really strong candidate for this position. I want to see things put in place that will help them as we figure out what's their future going to look like with the rise of AI. I want to make sure they're being prepared to be citizens of this country. To echo John, civics I think is very important too in our school. I want to see that we're equipping them with the skills they need, which is not cut and dry for every student. For some kids, college is the answer. For other kids, going to technical school and having a trade profession is the best route for them. And we need those jobs. Those are jobs that are essential to our community. So I want to see our students have the best step forward into their future. And that is why I'm running. So again, I'm Bonnie Majon. It's a pleasure to meet you all.
I'll make sure I say your name right next time. Majon, okay. Okay, and we will come back to Piper because we had another candidate show up. Our last one for USD 204 is Ashley Razak. Here. Okay, do we have any others for Piper District that are here besides Patty? Okay, so we'll come back. Okay, so our next district is USD 500. And we have Wanda Brownlee.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the NAACP and all of you taking time from your busy schedules to come and share. And it's imperative that you're here today because we have a lot to deal with in our society today. I was born and raised in Kansas City, Kansas. I attended school in US District 500, Hawthorne Elementary, Northwest Junior High School, and Wyandotte High School. I graduated with the class of 1974. From there, I went on to Simpson College, which is located in Indianola, Iowa, where I have a BA in history. And then I went to the University of Wisconsin, Stevens Point, where I have an MST in social studies. I also have 30 hours in adult education from Drake University, 15 hours in ESL from Fort Hayes and K-State. When I came back, I wanted to do something, and I decided that I wanted to be a teacher, even though I thought about some other things. So I taught in US District 500 for 30 years. I taught middle school social studies, and I retired in 2012. And then I said, I still have something to do, because my parents always taught us that we have a commitment to do something to better humanity. And my favorite scripture in the Bible deals with Cain and Abel. Now, most people say Cain and Abel, the man killed his brother, but the most important part of that story was when he was asked, where is your brother? And what was his response? Am I my brother's keeper? We're all responsible for each other. And we need to come in. If you don't have something to eat, I should be able to help you get what you need in whatever way that I can. And that's what I try to do in education. So I ran for the school board, and I'm running now for my third term. And some, as Janet Jackson would say, what have you done for me lately? And since I've been on that board, I've worked hard to make sure that we improve our attendance rate. It's not where it should be. We're about at 75%, but we were in trouble after COVID because people weren't, and they still aren't sending their kids to school. Because I often ask when I'm out and about, well, is there a special program? Is something going on? Why is he or she not in school? And the response I get from a few is they didn't want to go. And that says we have a bigger job to do. I don't feel that we're where we need to be, because it's been a constant thing. I had to learn the power of 4. It takes 4 votes to do anything. It takes 4. And when people say, well, why didn't you? Well, hey, I know how I voted. Go back and look at the video. And I think it's important that we choose people who are going to meet what people want us to do and work hard to make it better. We need to reduce our student teacher ratio. When I retired, I averaged 38 kids per class. 38, that's too much, but we had to do what we had to do to make it work. I would like to improve school safety. We're still having problems, and kids should be able to come to school and not feel bullied, not feel pressured to do. We're doing what we can, but there's still room for improvement. We need to increase our graduation rate. It's not where it should be. Again, they gotta be there, they gotta be willing to work, and then we gotta be more creative, because what we're doing now, our educational system is still built on agriculture, because we set it up the way people farm. How many of you in this room are farmers? Okay, so that means we gotta do something a little different. And it's gonna say that we gotta be challenged to really make it work. But again, I think our board, we do okay. We want the same thing, but sometimes we don't agree on how to get there. And that's a problem. I'm not trying to run away from it. It is a problem. It is something we have to continually work at to get better. Also, our parent-community relationship. When we put the doors, the locks on the doors, they were put there to keep the bad guys out. But sometimes we kept our parents out. And we have to also be welcoming, because I've gone to schools to talk to administrators to say, I got some phone calls from some parents. They're saying they didn't feel welcome. And I'm not saying you got to kiss their feet. And I know there's some babies here. You don't have to kiss their butt, but you should be cordial and you should be kind. That when you walk in, good morning, how are you? Good afternoon, good evening. How can we help you? And let's see what we can get you with the right people. That's important. You got to be able to talk to each other. And if it doesn't work out, sometimes you have to say, maybe today is not the day for the meeting. Because you seem agitated no matter what we've done. And I've had to do that. Let's try another day. And then we start over. Okay, let's work it out. What do we need to do? Do we need a contract? But we have to be willing to work with people. And then I think we have to get our business community involved, because I believe in that Upward Board program that they have, Bound program they have in Missouri, because they work to get these kids in job slots. They need jobs. They need jobs that are going to pay and that they're willing. the students today are a little different. I'm not working for $2. Well, we gotta figure it out, and we gotta figure out a way to get them to see it's important that you work. You gotta have a job to sustain yourself, because if you don't, you're in a world of trouble. And the way one other thing I wanna mention, I'm currently in the House of Representatives. I've had some people say, well, how can you do 2 jobs? Well, I think I'm smart enough to chew gum and walk at the same time, because I've seen it done and it's being done. And they're making laws every day that affect our lives. And it's not a pretty sight, because there's only 37 of us and it's 88 of them. And when I say us, I mean Democrats. I'm not knocking anybody who's a Republican. We all have choices, but they vote down a lot of important programs that are important to us in this area. And we gotta do something to change that. So that's why I ran, because I thought we need a seat at the table. And they need to know what's going on. And I have an issue. There's only 30% of the people who live in Wyandotte County, Kansas City, Kansas, who are paying taxes, who live here. Now, come on, that's an issue. And then we got people getting their cars and drive other places. So we're not getting enough money to fund the things that we want. So we don't have to tax you to death. We don't have to tax you from the UG. We don't have to tax you so hard from the school district. We don't have to tax you so hard from the college. That's a problem. And we've got to work that out. And when I'm one of those people, I live here. I've lived here most of my life and I'm getting taxed. I'm like you. I don't really feel like I own my house. Not until December when I pay the first half and then I pay the other half in May. And that's a problem. And then not only do I own the house, I gotta fix the house up. I have to keep up with the maintenance. So it's easy to say, well, and I know my time is getting. And thank you for saying that. But I want you to know it's critical. We got some issues and it's not a lot of money to do what we need to do. I'm not a bad person if I vote against it, because we got to find some other ways. And since I've been in the House, we've asked, we've tried, we always haven't been met with the good thing, but we're trying. And I just want to end this with this. Get on the right page and vote for Wanda Page.
Thank you, Ms. Page. We do appreciate everything you said, and there are a lot of issues, but we want to make sure that we're mindful of everybody's time today. Our wonderful director of the library is allowed to stay a little bit in case we do go over, but we have about 11 more candidates, so please be mindful of the 2 minutes. Thank you, Ms. Page. Okay. Our next candidate for USD 500 is Shavette Dickens.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Shavette Dinkins, and I'm running for USD 500 School Board. My experience is I was a award-winning educator for USD 500 for 6 years, business teacher at Wyandotte High School. I am a student-led community advocate. I have experience in mental health, substance abuse. I hold 2 master's degrees, one in secondary education and one in business administration. Currently, I'm a director at a nonprofit. I am a small business owner and I'm an adjunct at 3 colleges. I am running because I want to be a part of that change and I want you guys to be a part of that change. My platform consists on student voice because students matter, community collaboration because we cannot exist without our community, our businesses, our church, our students, and our parents, and empowering literacy because our literacy rates need to improve in our district. So if you want to be part of the change, vote for Dinkins. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Dinkins. Next candidate for USD 500 is Pamela Penn Hicks.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. I'm Pamela Penn Hicks. I'm running for USD 500 School Board. And excuse me, I'm a little dry right now. Okay. I am a mother, a grandmother, and a great-grandmother, a homeowner, and essentially a community advocate. I've been working for 40 years dealing with issues of all types, actually, within our city and our county, the UG, BPU, the school district. One of the things that I do best is listen to what our community is saying. And one community that I am very focused on is our students who are attending USD 500. And they have shared with me many of the concerns about how their education process is occurring. And in that vein, I have assured them that we will address, because there are many issues that they have identified for me. Some of them include things like distraction in the classroom, or a stronger curriculum, or being able to use the information that they learn and apply it as they go on so that they can use that to further their own careers and their own lives. That's an important component for them. The community has asked that we involve them in that process, and that we bring to the forefront the fact that parents and community business should be involved in everything that goes on in the school district. They want to be there, they want to support our children, and we need to make sure that the doors are open and that they are able to do just that. One of the things that I would like to see improve majorly in our school district is that currently, right now, only 20% of our children are operating at grade level proficiency, which is a far too low score for our school district, which means that our children are not proficient in math and in reading, literacy, critical thinking. And one of the things that we need to do is make sure that we shore up those fundamental skills in order to make sure that our children are able to follow their hopes, their dreams, their aspirations. And they really want to be able to utilize that information that they are receiving in technical school, military, and even college. And that's some things we need to support them for. So I want to empower our students to invest in themselves. And by doing that, we elevate our community and have our community invest in our children. So that is the main focus that I have from going to be on the board. I have advocated to the board about certain things like special education and the use of cell phones in classrooms and all of that. Those issues are still current and they need to be addressed. And we need to have people on the board who will make sure that those things are resolved. So I'm a solution-oriented person, focus on the issues. I don't care anything about personalities or politics, agendas. I want to make sure that the focus is on our students and that they get what they need from while they're there in our care. I appreciate your listening, and I will ask you for your vote November 4th. Pamela Penn Hicks. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hicks, Penn Hicks. Okay, our next candidate for USD 500 is Rachel Russell. Right. Good afternoon, everyone. I will use my teacher voice. My name is Rachel Russell, and I am running for re-election for USD 500. I am currently a sitting school board member and also serve as the current vice president for the school board. So why did I run for school board, or why am I running again? Because I believe in our students. I believe both in their voices being at decision-making tables, which is why we have implemented Student World Cafes that ensures that our students have a voice where decisions are being made and that they're listened to. I believe that our students deserve world-class facilities, and so I advocated and supported the passing of a school bond. I also believe that our students deserve an academic and education that prepares them for the future. Very similar to what Ms. Page said, is our system needs a change. Our system needs to look at education differently, and that is something that I advocated for when I got on the school board, but that's also something I'm advocating for now. I also have supported our supportive services, whether it be through contracts or whether it be through additions or changes to the school bell schedule, or how the school is how the day is structured structured to ensure that our students are not just there for the academics. We know that we have to address other things that they bring to school with them. So whether it's food, so making sure that students have the access to food after the bell's rung, that students have access to second chance transportation. So if you miss the bus or your parents already at work, how can you still get to school? We as a district have to address those. I also believe that our students deserve to be celebrated. So in collaboration with our foundation, we have semesterly, words are hard for me clearly. We have a fall and a spring celebration that brings together families and students. The board recognizes 4 students a month. And so my bright idea was that we have a celebration that recognizes all of the students who were nominated. And so now we have that event. We see over 300 families come to home field every semester. And it's really great to just see that celebration outside of just graduation. But at the core of our students is families. And so since I've been elected, the school district has also adopted a family engagement policy. I got into this by being involved as a parent, a classroom parent, and also through PTA. And so I knew that bringing families to the table looks different for every building and for different cultures. And so our district has now adopted a family engagement policy to make sure that our district is holding ourselves accountable to how we engage families. Also, recently in our current budget, we adopted a plan to extend parent liaisons, family engagement specialists district-wide in a cluster model that ensures that everyone has a place. So in closing, because that's all you stand, and I appreciate that. I need a timer. Thank you. I am a politician now, they say. In closing, why vote for me compared to any other student, to any of the wonderful candidates we have? I ran 4 years ago and said I have the future, the now, and I have the future and now of KCKPS. I am the only school board member sitting and on the ballot who has kids in the district. And I think that voice is a voice that needs to be at the table. So I ask for your vote on November 4th. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Russell. Our next candidate is Jocelyn Strickland Egan's from USD 500 also.
Good afternoon. My name is Joycelyn Strickland Egan's, and I'm grateful to be here. It's okay. And that's why we have the opportunity to speak, so we can introduce ourselves. I am a 36-year educator. I retired from the Kansas City, Kansas School District 2 years ago. And this is my way. I always knew I was going to come back to the district, you know, because of capers, you can't work in Kansas. So I was just biding my time in Missouri till it was time for me to come back. And my comeback is to be a part of the school board. So I really want your vote because I've always been a community leader, a community activist, and I don't see that changing. I am from Wyandotte County and for Wyandotte County, and I say that because I don't have to stay in Wyandotte County. I don't have to serve in Wyandotte County. I can serve wherever I choose to, but I choose to serve at home. I am a product of Banneker Elementary, Arrowhead Middle School, and Washington Wildcats. So I graduated from Emporia State University with an elementary education degree and from Kansas State University with my master's degree. A lot of what was already said are the same things that I stand for. I believe that all the candidates are standing for the same things that I would. Student success is important. It's so important. When I left Washington High School, I thought that I could do anything. I thought I was ready for the world. And I want all of our students to feel that way too. No matter their socioeconomic status, no matter their language, no matter their home life. I want them to feel like when they leave, they can do whatever they put their heart and mind to. So we do talk a lot about being college and career ready. We need all of our students to be at that level. Our graduation rate is at 86.4%, and we need to be at 100%, period. Everybody that needs to graduate and everybody needs to be college and career ready. You can do both. Lots of us do. We wear more than one hat, and our students should be able to too. I also believe in the success of our staff. And that is from our teachers who are the front runners. We know that the deciding factor in student success is the teacher. So, but they're not the only point of our success. We have to have the bus drivers, we have to have the cafeteria workers, we have to have the custodians, we have to have the principals, we have to have the assistant principals. It takes everybody to make the school district run, including the superintendent and the school board members. It takes us all, including our parents, including the community. Community without good schools is a community without a lot of hope. So I want you to vote for me on November 4th, Joycelyn Strickland Eakins. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Joycelyn Strickland Eakins, thank you. Our last candidate for USD 500 is Josh Young.
He is not here right now, he is out of state, he did ask me to just say a few things for him, he is a veteran.
Thank you.
He saw I was on the ballot too. He goes, "You a veteran too?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "All right, we're gonna get along pretty good." So, but he did a year. He did I think 6 years in the Air Force. He was born and raised in Wyandotte County. He's a 5th-generation Kansan, and he's got a couple kids in the school district for US District 500. And he want to make sure that his school district represents what he wants for his kids, and that everybody gets taken care of. That we have a better education system because he wants to make sure nobody gets left behind. Everybody can read. Everybody can serve in the military, everybody can move on to technical schools like that. So me and him became good friends the last month and a half. So no offense to all the rest of 500, but I'm hoping he gets one of those seats. So.
Okay, that was for Josh Young. He spoke on behalf. Okay, so we are going to go back to USD 203. Patty Jurich. Urich. I'll get her. Urich, okay, thank you.
Hello, I want to thank you guys for having this today. I appreciate the opportunity to speak before you today. This is my first time running for, I'm going to call it a public office. And so I'm a little nervous about this, and I feel very unprepared, but I was born in Kansas. I've lived in KCK all my life. I went through school. I graduated from Turner High School in District 202. Then moved shortly after that to Kansas City, Kansas, where I raised 3 children over there. They went through the KCK school district. I started volunteering, my volunteer career 40 years ago as a Cub Scout treasurer, and then went on to be the fundraising chair for my PTA at Hazel Grove. I've been school president at my elementary, middle, and high school at Sumner, as well as 2 elementaries, a middle school, high school. And then I also volunteered over in District 202 for several years, involved with their high school as well as their council. I've been involved with District 500's their council level president, 7 different terms, been involved in many things, helped host many events. I can't tell you how many fundraisers and cookie doughs and gift wraps and book fairs, and it's all been fun. I wanted to have my children and other children as well to have a good memory of their school years, not just reading, writing, arithmetic. I wanted them to look back on like the carnivals or the bicycle rodeos, things like that, having speakers come in. So that's kind of where I was at. I've also served at my state level. I just finished my 2-year term as state president. I was 21 to 23. I was Kansas PTA state president. Had a lot of good memories from that. I still am involved, not as deeply because, other people serve in those positions. I will say that during that time, I did bring an astronaut into our area, and he spoke at Piper in Turner and in Shawnee Mission. And so that was kind of a fun thing to do. I want to run for school board because the first thing that there's several different things. One, when I moved to Piper 14 years ago, my taxes have increased over 50%. And I want to make sure that the spending that goes on and the planning in the schools are well thought out of, and that they're being responsible and transparent with parents, because that doesn't always happen. But at the same time, I want to make sure that our students have the best opportunities, that their curriculum is up, is something that can make them, as I've heard the word world-class, and I think that's a great outlook to do it. I want to advocate for school safety. I want to very much, some of the committees I serve on with Kansas Department of Education, I serve on their professional standards board, and we deal with teacher licensure and retention, and how can we get teachers to stay in the field, because a lot of times after 3 years we lose them. So I want to make sure that we're looking and doing what we can to make sure we retain our students in Piper, our teachers in Piper, and that we're having teachers who are accredited, and not just a bunch of long-term subs, but sometimes that happens. Student achievement is high on my list. Classroom instruction, and I want to make sure that the budget is allocated for inside the school and not so much for outside. To make sure that everybody can come to the table and have a voice and say what they need to say, and not get talked down or ignored. So that's just kind of where I'm coming from. And I think that I get the opportunity to voice my voice. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I wanted to make sure we went through the USD school districts first before we went to KCK CC board members. Is there anyone else in the district that is here that came in late? Okay, so we are now going to go to the KCK member board candidates. Our first candidate, Joe Caher, was not able to make it. He sent me an email. He actually wanted me to let everyone know that he's running for the KCK CC Board of Trustees. He could not make it today because he'll be working at the Back to School Bash, where KCK Police Department and KCK Fire Department and the Wyandotte County Sheriff's Office are handing out 700 backpacks, no charge to the community. Backpacks and food will be provided. The event is from 10 to 2 at Healthwood Park on 11th and Parallel. So that information is what he was doing today. And that's Joe, Caihar, in case I mispronounced it.
KR, I know him too, he's a
KR.
KPD officer.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's from him. And then our next candidate for KCK board member is Linda Hoskins Sutton.
Right.
Hi, everyone. And I do want to emphasize that the board of trustees is at large. So all of Wyandotte County vote for us, Edwardsville, Bonner Springs, and Kansas City, Kansas. Hi, my name is Linda Hoskins Sutton. I've lived in Kansas City, Kansas for 45 years. I'm currently serving my second term on the Board of Trustees. I've worked at the college for 30 years, and I retired in 2014. And when I retired, running for the Board of Trustees was not in my plans. But here I am serving the community at the next level. I am seeking re-election because I want to continue serving the community. Some of my key concerns, and it's kind of been mentioned in a different way, but workforce development readiness. And because of time, I will not go into details about that. This has also kind of been mentioned, and I won't go into details, but collaboration to improve education in Wyandotte County, so that we can improve K-12 through the community college and technical college. and also Wyandotte County first. I want you to know that my priority is to have Wyandotte County first. I stand and I still stand for integrity, accountability, and transparency. And if you re-elect me, I will continue to stand for that. You can look at our records and you can see how I have stood up for the community. Thank you all for being here today. I ask for your vote on November 4th. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hoskins Sutton. Our next candidate is Brad Isnard, KCKCC Member Board. Okay. Our next candidate is Jeffrey Kump.
Everybody, I'm not Jeffrey Kump. Jeffrey's my brother. My name is Andrew Kump. Jeffrey's out of town on a work event. He's out of town on a work event. He couldn't make it, but he wanted to make sure that his message was able to be heard by the community. So he asked me to share the following message that he wrote with you. First, I want to say thank you and I want to apologize. I truly regret not being with you in person this afternoon. I had a prior obligation that I could not reschedule, but I didn't want to miss the opportunity to connect with you and to share why I'm running for KCKCC Board of Trustees. KCKCC is more than just a college. It's a vital part of Wyandotte County. It is a place where people build careers, change their lives, and create new opportunities. But to truly fulfill that mission, we have to bring the focus back to the community. That is what this campaign is about. There have been real concerns, students feeling unheard in certain programs, questions about board transparency and public accountability, faculty and staff doing their best without always having the tools they need to succeed. These are not minor issues. They show us that the connection between the college and the community needs to be strengthened. If elected, I will focus on 3 priorities. First, supporting students by improving access to housing, wellness services, and making sure every student has a fair and clear path to raise concerns and be heard. Second, investing in our educators. Faculty and staff deserve the respect, resources, and support necessary to help students thrive. Third, restoring public trust in the college's leadership. That means making board decisions more open, more transparent, and more connected to the people who live, work, and learn in this community. And finally, although my election is not until November, I want to encourage everyone here to participate in another important election coming up very soon. Please remember to vote Tuesday, August 5th. Your voice matters, your vote matters, and together we can help shape the future of Wyandotte County. Thank you again for your time, your trust, and your commitment to our community. I'm ready to serve. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. So that was Andrew Kump speaking on behalf of Jeffrey Kump. Thank you, sir. Okay. Okay, our next candidate was not able to make it, Jamie A. Johnson, and I got an email. So I'll read that. This is also for KCKCC Board of Trustees. My name is Jamie Johnson, and I was born in Waco, Texas, into a family dedicated to education, service, and care. My grandparents were college professors. My father served as a soldier. My mother and her sisters were educators, and my uncle was a nurse. In the late 1960s, my immediate family moved to Kansas City when my mother and aunt were recruited to help integrate USD 500. I attended Chelsea Elementary, William Allen White Elementary, West Junior High School, and F.L. Schlegel High School. I earned a Bachelor's of Arts in Communication Theory and Human Relations from Park University and a Master's in Student Personnel Administration from the University of Central Missouri. For over 25 years, I worked in nearly every area of education, including substitute teaching and USD 500. I am now entering my 19th year at the flagship research institution in Kansas, where I serve as a graduate program coordinator for the School of Journalism and Mass Communications. I'm running because I am deeply committed to serving my community. In 2023, I ran for a seat on the KCKCC Board of Trustees and finished with the 5th highest number of votes. When a vacancy opened in January 2024, the board appointed another candidate. I am now seeking election to the unexpired term of that very seat. If elected, I will serve a 2-year term with the same values. I've always championed equity, transparency, accountability, and access to education for all. As your KCKCC Board of Trustees member, I will represent you. I will listen to your concerns and advocate for responsible fiscal management, not to exceed revenue neutral, and hold the president accountable to ensure that politics, procedure, programs, and resources truly serve student, faculty, staff, and the community. I ask for your vote on November 4th. Connect with me on Facebook at Jamie Johnson for KCKCC Board of Trustees, or email me at Jamie, JAMMIE 4KCKCC@gmail.com. That was for Jamie Johnson. Our next candidate for KCKCC board member is Mary T. Ricketts. Our next candidate is Alex Sanchez. Okay, and that concludes our candidates. Is there anyone that I have missed that is here that may have come in late after I've called their name that is running for office? Okay. So I will now turn it over to our political action chairperson, Allison Williamson. And I do want to remind anyone who wants to join the NAACP for Bonner Springs, I am the membership chairperson. The forms are over there. If you have any questions, just let me know afterwards.
Thank you. Give a hand to Miss Teresa Bolton. And give a hand to Jack, who is our tech person, since my husband couldn't be here to record. I really just appreciate that you all came out. I always scratch my head and like, who am I voting for these school boards? And I think it's interesting to know that you might have multiple people that you love for these school boards. It's my understanding that you can select 3 for USD 500. Is that the same for all the rest? Okay. So, get out there, get informed. For the candidates that are here, I just want you to know that if you submit your profile picture, I mean, an actual headshot photo and a bio with your platform, I'm making a voter's guide, just like I did for the primary election, just so that we can have that posted in case people couldn't come tonight, they'll be able to look at that voter's guide. So if you send me a picture and a bio and a platform, I'll submit that. If not, I'm gonna stalk your pages, I'm gonna get whatever picture I can find, and I'll come up with my own paragraph, okay? And so definitely reach out to me. It is 4:28. Mingle with the candidates that are here. Make sure to get some of their campaign information. There might be other candidates from other elections and primaries that are here, so mingle with them as well. But at 5 o'clock, this library closes, and 2 minutes, we're out of this room. Thank you.
Thank you.